Hey everybody, I decided I was going to do a video today on willingness versus willfulness during this pandemic time and social distancing with COVID-19. I am once again recording from my car because, I don't know, I just like having a little private space to do it. I'm sitting at the park at the moment. I'm going to go for a walk in a little bit to get some fresh air and get out. It's not as sunny as I hoped, but that's okay. I hope everyone is taking time for self-care and safely getting out when you can, in order to get just a little bit of fresh air that can help. I have been struck by some stories I've heard about some people who are doing well during this time, some people who are not doing so well during this time, frustrations that people have with either those who are kind of following the social distancing rules, not following the distancing rules, and I found myself frustrated at times with others, and that has sort of led me to this video. So I wanted to talk about the difference between willingness and willfulness. Willingness is a distress tolerance skill in DBT, and has to do with acceptance during times where there are problems that we can't necessarily fix, situations we can't necessarily change, or that we can't use our willpower to kind of overcome in the way that we would want to. A lot of times we think willpower is the thing that's gonna get us through any situation, and I can imagine that most people are finding that willpower is not the thing that's helping us in this particular moment. We sort of are experiencing really extreme lack of control. It makes people feel anxious, makes people feel all kinds of emotions, and that feeling of a lack of control over a situation can make us double down on our desire to assert our will, or it can make us feel panicked and sort of throw up our arms and be like, oh my god, I can't do anything, I don't know what to do. Both of which actually would be examples of willfulness. So willfulness, it is either sitting on your hands when you need to be doing something, or trying to force something to happen your way when the universe, the environment, or other people are sort of saying, no, that's not how this is going to work. Willfulness is being stubborn, inflexible, rigid. I've heard stories of people who are expecting things to go the way that they always have during this pandemic, and that's not how it's going to be. In a lot of situations, people are resisting closures, store closures, lack of stock, trying to go and pick up their paycheck the way that they've always done it, but people are saying, no, you can't come pick it up, we're going to mail it to you. And believe me, I understand what it's like to not have money. There's sort of no workaround, and fighting with people about that is not productive. And I think the more that we're at each other, so it's the worse this kind of is. And so willfulness is not effective, essentially. It doesn't meet the situation where we're at. It doesn't say, okay, here's what options we've got, let's see what we can do. It's sort of like, no, I don't care what the options are, I want to do it my way. And I am painting it in this really negative light, but we're willful all the time. People are willful all the time. I'm willful all the time. I'm notoriously stubborn. And so being able to adapt and be flexible is absolutely a skill, and it's not one that we necessarily have, instantaneously. A lot of the way that we feel some sense of control over the world is by exerting our will over it. And in many cases, the world right now is fighting us back and saying, the environment is fighting us back, this illness is fighting us back, We're closing businesses, we're shutting down, ways in which we've impacted the environment in a lot of negative ways as a result of this illness. And then we see nature thriving in some areas as a result, which is interesting. I feel like I'm going off on a tangent. I'm going to back it up. But that's an interesting thing to look at. So willingness, on the other hand, is sort of saying, here's a situation, I'm going to meet it where it's at. I realize that maybe I'm not going to get exactly what I want out of this situation, but I'm willing to be creative. I'm willing to be flexible. I'm willing to try to find a way. And that way may just be accepting what is, accepting that, you know what, I cannot get my, Starbucks special drink right now because I don't have a Starbucks nearby that has a drive-through, or something. One of the things I'm contending with right now, Dunkin' Donuts, I love you, like seriously, I love you, but Dunkin' Donuts employees are not essential. America does not actually run on Dunkin', guys. We can survive. Please close down. Putting a lot of people at risk, especially the employees. I've talked to a lot of people who are essential employees at Dunkin' Donuts. I don't think so, but that's just my opinion. But this idea that, like, yes, you can go without your morning coffee. Yes, we can find alternative ways. And those are sort of minor things, but this is happening on a much bigger scale for people right now. So being willing to meet the situation where it is, like, it's not ideal for anybody. For some people, it might be ideal. Having a little bit of alone time has been kind of nice for me. And I'm usually alone a lot, but for some reason I don't feel as much pressure to socialize, so that's good. Makes it easier. But being willing to say, like, look, I'm not going to fight reality here. That's willingness. And adapting is willingness. Learning from whatever the situation is right now is willingness. And it makes it so much easier because when we adopt an attitude of willingness, it allows for other people around us to feel that energy, feel that accepting sort of vibe, and to also sort of calm, also sort of adapt, also be flexible. We work together better when we're willing, as opposed to willful. So it takes practice, it takes time, it takes checking back with what our priorities and our goals really are in this situation and what is going to help us actually get to our goals. And most of the time, fighting reality, this sort of willpower, this willfulness, is not the thing that's actually going to get us where we want to be. Yeah. All right. I think that's it on willingness versus willfulness. I feel like that was a chaotic amount and content of words that I just said. That sentence didn't even make sense. Probably gonna see what of this video makes sense. Hopefully it made some sense. Hopefully you're taking care of yourself. Get a little bit of fresh air in a safe way. Take good care. Take appropriate measures. But remember, everything in moderation. Don't overdo it on the anxiety piece either. All right, stay tuned. Hopefully I'll have time for more videos with all this slowing down that we've got going on.